Hey there.
Hello, good morning.
Morning. I don't know why it's streaming everywhere, but it doesn't say it's not letting me do it on Facebook, so we might just omit that today.
Where does everywhere include these days other than Facebook?
I believe,
LinkedIn.
yeah, LinkedIn, X,
Mhm. Mhm.
um, I think it goes to, well, yeah, normally I do it in the Facebook group, but it's like a separate thing and it's not populating on the Facebook group page, so we'll just run as is. Um,
I'm ready to roll whenever you want, Megan. You have the room.
Here we go. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good morning.
Hey everybody, happy Friday. This is the Friday Chief AI Officer call. Good to see you all again. And for those that are new that are joining us, welcome, welcome. Happy to see you here as well. My name is Lee Pomerantz. I'm a fellow here in the Chief AI Officer program. This call is being available for public consumption. We do a series of calls during the week that are for our AI Insider only community. Actually, every day of the week, calls covering topics from prompting to AI tools to business blueprint, workflows and automations and agents and lions and tigers and bears, all that. So if you'd like to join our AI Insider community, we encourage you to do so. There's a $1 trial that gets you access for 14 days. And you can go to chiefaiofficer.com/learn dash more. Again, that's chiefaiofficer.com/learn dash more. And come check out the community. This is the best AI focused community people tell us that they've ever been involved with. It's a supportive community. We're here to help each other on the journey of AI that we're all going down together. And it's a great place to get your questions answered. It's a great place to share your wins and everything else that's going on in your AI world. So again, it's chiefaiofficer.com/learn dash more to join our $1 14-day trial of our AI Insider community. Again, I want to welcome everybody that's here on Zoom. I want to welcome everybody that's joining us on any of our live stream platforms that are happening out there. Um, we got a lot to cover this week, so I am going to introduce you to a new face. If you are in our AI Insider community, I'm sure that you've seen her already. And I apologize for my voice. I am starting to get a cold or something, and I always get it in my throat first. That's where disease finds me. So I apologize for that. I don't think I'm going to lose my voice, but I definitely have that low radio voice thing going on today. So again, going back to a face that you've seen on calls and in the community, Coach Jen is with us. I would like to say good morning and welcome, and thanks for joining us on the call. And she's got some things to talk about. So Jen, call's yours.
Thank you so much, Lee. Appreciate you so much. Lee is a longtime community member, big fan of his commitment to supporting the community here. I'm excited to be here. Man, I feel like I'm on a rocket ship and we're like going through the atmosphere right now. And I'm so grateful to be on it with you guys. I've had an opportunity to get to know a few of you. I see Carrie on live. I've seen a few other people, Ron, Sherry, Reverend Ramsey, are you on the call today? Good morning. Good morning to those of you who are joining us. There you are. And it's cool that last week I was actually watching this call from LinkedIn. And so if you guys don't know, this is broadcasted on Facebook, on LinkedIn, where the outside world can get a peek into what's going on inside of our community. And because of that, there is so much going on. Oh, Sylvana's here. Oh my goodness. Good morning, Sylvana.
Hello, and happy belated birthday, Coach
Thank
Jen.
you. Yes, it was my birthday this week, and there's not a better community I could celebrate it with. So here's the big news, right? There's a lot of changes happening inside of our community because of the demand that we are getting from every direction. First of all, we've got big organizations that are reaching out, very, very large organizations that say we need chief AI officers ready to come in and actually implement tools and systems and training within our organization. And so right now we are in huge, we are building out the process and the workflows to be able to get our chief AI officers on the job, making sure that they're able to use their skills, use their talents to be able to make life and work better for everyone, right? Because there is nothing better than when you finally get an automation installed that just makes your life easier and allows you to focus on the things that you love to do more. And so we've got pressure from that side, people saying like, we need more support. So we need to get people trained and up and running fast on specific workflows. And on the other side, we've got a lot of people who are coming in and saying like, hey, I don't want to go back to corporate right now. I want to go off on my own thing. And maybe you love what you're doing, but your company realizes that they're downsizing, they're letting people go. And so there's people that are needing a new source of revenue and they want to be able to create new freedom in their life. And because of that, they're looking to become that fractional chief AI officer for many different applications, whether it's professional practice or small businesses in their area, or banks, or law firms, or dental practices, or the home inspector down the street. There's every single possible perspective you can imagine, opportunities for you to go in, take your skill sets, take your experience, and make people's life and work better, more efficient, more effective. So, with that said, over the next several weeks, we're going to be announcing a lot of changes inside the community as far as updates. We're updating our programs, we're updating our courses, which has always been part of what makes Chief AI Officer so great. But now we just have a whole bunch of new energy and a whole bunch of new talent that's coming in that's ready to make a magic happen. So super pumped to be here along for the ride. I know we're going to pass it over to Megan, and she's going to tell us what's up in the community. I will tell you, I have had an opportunity to get to know Megan personally in a few different conversations over the last week. What I love the most about Megan is she cares so much about making sure you have what you need to be successful. She was like, I just love making sure when I have a client that has a question, making sure they get what they need. She's got so many ideas. I was just talking to her. I'm like, man, what can we do here? And she's like, oh yeah, we can do this, we can do that. So we're excited to bring some of those ideas to you guys. And as always, you and your perspective and what you need matters the most to us, right? So if you're trying to close a deal, if you're trying to figure out what is that first offer that I'm going to take out to launch my new consultant practice, or if you're working in a large organization, you're an executive and you're trying to say, okay, how do I get buy-in from the rest of my team, or which system do I focus on first? That's what this team is here for. And the only way that you're going to get that clarity to really start building momentum is for you to bring that question to the table. So if you have those questions, post them inside the community. If you're not already in and you're watching on LinkedIn or watching on Facebook, you need to join. You got to get on the inside. It is a 14-day $1 trial, so that way you can get the full 2 weeks to kind of get in, get your hands dirty, figure out which aspect of the community you love the most. But in the questions and feedback category, tag Megan. If she doesn't know the answer, she can connect you to somebody who does. So with that said, Megan, why don't you fill us in on what's going on inside the community this week?
I'd love to. And Jen is absolutely correct that I love helping find the resources that you need so that you can make the most out of your AI officer experience here. So you're more than welcome to, like she said, you can comment in this questions and feedback channel if you have questions, and I will get to you. If I do not have the answer, I will find somebody who does. And you also have the opportunity up here in the top right-hand corner to send me a private message as well. So whichever place feels more comfortable for you, you are more than welcome to send over a message there. What I want to show you is our upcoming schedule for the week ahead. We have some changes coming to our classes in this next week. On Monday, we have the AI powered productivity tools and techniques call. So who's going to lead this? Zach Engler is going to be the host of this with me. And in that call, we go over one of our smart cuts. A smart cut is essentially a PDF breakdown of how to use an AI tool. So definitely come and attend this class. This is another one of our public classes that's available. But he's going to be diving into stacking different AI softwares and starting with bolt.new. So I would definitely attend this class. Zach is an excellent presenter. He's one of our recent chief AI officer graduates. But show up, learn from him for sure.
Before you move on, Megan, I just want to throw in here that Zach is boss. Zach, like, he is so sharp. He is so quick. The way, especially if you are new to the AI world, he is so brilliant in the fact that instead of just going in and selling a service, he actually positioned himself to get equity inside of a company, essentially. So now he went out, used the skills that he learned inside Chief AI Officer, specifically going through our community, getting access. He applied those skills, which he used as his capstone project. So he actually did this before he even finished his certification, right?
Yeah.
And now every single time his client makes a sale, he gets paid too, which is kind of the ideal. Is if you can build these oil wells where you can use these skills to be able to get paid over and over and over again, like, what is the compound interest of that in your life over time? So definitely take advantage of getting to know Zach, building a relationship with him, and picking his brain, because he's one smart dude.
That's amazing. I did not know that about him. But every experience I've had, he's easy to listen to, easy to learn from. Love the way he breaks down information. So that does not surprise me that he was a genius in that development. So Monday he'll be leading that call. It's at 2 p.m. Eastern. And then on Tuesday, you have Prompting Essentials with Segovia. So he dives into expert prompting tips. We also share community wins in this space, and it's a really good place to ask questions if you want to know about your capstone project and how to best accomplish that. If you have questions about the community, if you want to share any thoughts or opinions about how we can make the space better, the first half of that call is kind of where those discussions happen. And then the second half of the call is a training and him diving into different prompting techniques. This is not a class that we're leading. This is a workshop that Jeff Woods is hosting. So it is listed in our community events because we like to bring attention to places where you guys can gain more knowledge. And we love Jeff Woods around here. He wrote the book AI Driven Leader. Yes, Jen?
I was just gonna say, anybody on this call read that book, AI Driven Leader?
Lee
There it
has
is.
it right there.
Lee's holding it up on his screen. It was the very first book that I read the moment that I heard about Chief AI Officer and was considering taking on a role with this team. I read that book and crushed it on Audible in like 5 hours. I'm like, it is so solid. And what I love about that is that every single principle that Jeff Woods teaches in that book is what Chief AI Officer is essentially built on. Solid principles about how do you look at systems, how do you look at people and culture and get buy-in and get people to think differently. And so I just wanted to highlight this, that this is a really awesome opportunity for people to be able to learn from him, because it is ingrained in the culture and in the philosophy that makes a chief AI officer successful.
Absolutely. Another layer of knowledge for what you're learning here. So this, if you do want to dive into this workshop that he's hosting, the link is right there and you can register there. You can find out more information. And it is listed in our events channel right here. So that's coming up next week on Tuesday. So definitely hop in there today if you want to find out more information about that. On Wednesday, Wayne Clayton leads his AI business consulting blueprint call. This month,
Love
he's
it.
been,
Wait, I'm going to keep interrupting. Megan, I'm going to keep interrupting you.
Keep bringing it. It's fine. It's adding seasoning to what I'm going.
I like the back and forth. You good with this, Sherry and Carrie? Like, I like the back and forth on it.
Yes.
Like, I just want to say, yeah, Wayne's call is so good. And I don't know if you're going to go into this, because right now he's been working on building out how do you become the recognized AI expert in your space. And he's been going through the process of actually teaching people how to build their own websites as consultants to get leads. We've been talking about how this is something you could actually do for clients. So if you are trying to get your first clients in the AI space, or if you're working for a company and you go to ChatGPT and you look up, who's the lawyer I should use that's an expert in this in my space, and you don't show up number one. More people are using chat for search. And if you're not showing up in that, Wayne is teaching you how to show up in that, and or how to teach your clients how to do it.
Absolutely. And he's basing those classes off of the StoryBrand book. If you come over to the announcements tab, he has several posts in here where he's kind of broken down different aspects of what he's gone over. So there's articles here about what he's been teaching if you want to dive into that. And if you are a community member in the VIP video vault over here, you can find all of the recordings to the classes that he's taught this month. It's been a series that he's gone through this February. So you can click consulting at the top and you can check out all the recordings of those previous calls. But I highly recommend it, especially if you're figuring out how to position yourself in the market, how to support clients in different ways, how to make your website work for you. Like that's definitely something you want to dive into. And Wayne's calls are always wonderful. They're very entertaining.
And he has such a great voice. He's
He
like a
does.
radio show host.
Well, I think he was in radio at some point
I can
because I
listen
asked that question. I was like, you have a very radio vibe about you.
I will also say to anybody that's on the call, Wayne is anybody who's listening to the recording. So one of the things that is unique about this community, because I'm new, I'm coming in with fresh eyes. I'm like, this is so cool. Wayne actually runs his own AI consulting company in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I used to live up there. It's buku nowhere, right? So if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you're like, can I really build a business in AI? Oh, Lee, are you?
Point of note. I'm in Fort Wayne, Indiana, which is
He's
in
in
the northeast corner of the state. Wayne is in South Bend, which is in the
South Bend.
northwest corner of the state.
I've driven through both, so I'm familiar. I used to live in the middle between the both of you a while back, so I'm familiar with both areas. And what I love is that Wayne has built he's got a very successful business right now. And right now he's mostly like getting his foot in the door with Microsoft Copilot, which is a very, very small, tiny piece of the big, giant AI picture. And it just shows the demand that people need this. They're hungry for it. And Wayne is doing it. And you have access to him every single Wednesday night. Hop on, ask him questions. He is super generous with his knowledge.
Absolutely. And there's so many different ways that you can approach this world. Like we even have a community member who's in the dry cleaning business and she brings this to her clients in that industry. So there's no limitations to how you can incorporate this into your own specialty. So one of the changes that's happening is we've been having a Thursday night class at 7 p.m. Central for workflows. And the person who's leading that class has a job change, so he's stepping away. So just in March, we're going to change it up a little bit starting at the end of this month at 5 p.m. Eastern. We have an AI agents call. Chris Daigle is our fearless leader. Is going to be leading this call. So I highly recommend diving into this. He'll also lead 2 other AI agents calls in March. So just know that we have a shift for the workflows call that'll probably be coming back in some capacity, but you definitely want to attend this AI agents training. It's a conversation that we all need to be a part of, and it's everywhere in the AI world. Jen, I don't know if you have any thoughts about that specifically.
Yeah, specifically on the AI agents, that is the component where people need to be trained up the most. It is the thing that we are getting the most demand on the enterprise side from, is people need to know, how do we install, how do we maintain, how do we keep these up to date? And so, and not only for that, but just for your own life. Like even if that's not your goal, even if your goal is not to go get these enterprise clients and do that, and you just want to make your life run smoother and better, understanding AI agents, how to build them, where to apply them, in all components of your life, I think will give you such an advantage. And over anybody else. I talk to my husband often about the new robots that are coming out. If you haven't seen the Optimus robot from Tesla or the Figure One robot, and these things are coming out, and I think right now you can get them for like $25,000. And they say that the new Tesla robot, you're going to be able to get access to that for 10 grand whenever it comes out, the version 3. And think about that. For less than a car, you can have a robot that can do all of these different things around your house. And from a time leverage perspective, those people are going to have that choose to invest in that are going to have such an advantage on where they spend their time. It is going to be like the new middle class diversion. The people that are enhanced with AI and have robots and have agents and that do things for them so they can use their mind to be creative, to take care of their body, to take care of their health, to spend time with their loved ones. And so I say all that because I believe that agents is the first stepping stone to master, to be able to open that window of all of that new freedom and all of that new leverage that is going to come over the next few years.
Yeah. Very cool. We're
Well
living
said.
future. What were you gonna say, Lee?
Well said. Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's great. And a little mind altering as well to be thinking of all of that. Right now we're in the CAIO live call, so that will be happening again next Friday at the same time, which is 12 p.m. Eastern. And our fellows call is on this calendar. It's only available to our group of fellows. So if you've gone through the Chief AI Officer certification program, you can become a fellow afterwards. There is an application process for that. And I know many of you have been waiting for that next layer of enrollment. So just know that that'll be coming soon. But that is kind of the inner circle of Chief AI Officer. And so if you do get accepted into the Fellows Program, it means that you get first access to all of these amazing opportunities that Jen is speaking about. And so that's our schedule for next week. I want you guys to stay tuned to the event calendar because we're going to be having some adjustments coming up. In March, Chris Daigle will be leading those two AI agents calls. And then normally we have an AI governance call that happens on Monday evenings, led by Kristen Purdue, but we're going to be shifting the time of that call. So that is going to be moving to an alternating Thursday time slot as well. So her and Chris will be taking turns each week. So it'll be AI agents on Thursday and then AI governance on Thursday. So if you need support around the ethics of implementing AI, of the governance rules and how to navigate that or how to have those conversations with clients, that is where you want to be for those classes.
And I would say absolutely lock down your schedule for next Friday's call, because next Friday is going to be the day that we actually announce some of the big exciting things that are coming down the pipeline. I'm on the call today just kind of as a teaser to kind of get my foot in the door. My husband was listening, walking through the room, and he's like, "You came in hot today." I was like,
You're like, "You see me now, just wait until next week."
Wait till next week. So here's what I would recommend. Here's what I would recommend to everyone. If you have people in your life that are on this AI journey with you, right? Maybe it's people that you're working closely with, people that you want to be excited about this, plan to invite them next Friday because we're going to have a little party. We're going to have some big announcements. And it'll be a really good time for people to get their foot in the door in a way that's not formal like a webinar, right? We're going to have some back and forth in conversation. It'll be a little bit different next week going into March. And then the other final update I need to make sure that we share. Megan, can you take your screen off for just a second? And then perfect. The final update that I need to share with you guys is we do have a very special workshop coming up. Have you guys heard about this? Anybody heard about this so far? Okay, Karen has, Silvana has. Okay. So if you haven't met Adam, Adam is our new CRO. He's awesome. He not only walks or talks the talk, but he walks the walk. Like, he has very large companies that he supports using AI. He didn't go into those industries as an industry expert. He used the power of AI to create those opportunities for him. And through our conversations over the last couple of weeks, and listening to you, the people in the community, we're saying, hey, we need to be able to give people a fast start to take ownership of AI authority in their area. Earlier on this call, we talked about how, if you look up on ChatGPT, who's the AI expert in Dallas? Who's the AI expert in San Antonio? Who's the AI expert in, San Francisco, or wherever you are? Or another approach is, who's the AI expert in dental management, dental practice management, or in healthcare, or in female single owned businesses having people to do with life coaching. Like, you could go super niche. But the idea is there is an opportunity right now. And it's not Adam uses the term gold rush. That's one way to think about it. The reality is, in the world right now, there is so much change that people are scared. People are uncertain. People have fear. And they're looking for leaders. They're looking for people with confidence. They're looking for people that know how to navigate the situation. And so if you can not only show up with your certification saying, look, I'm in a community, these are the things we talk about. I know that even if I don't have the answer to something, I've got a community where I can figure it out. But also, you can own the authority of that. You can be seen in the local media. You have a website that converts. You have a sales process that actually gets the clients to say yes, overcoming their objections. That is the component that we are now going to be bringing in and adding to this community for those of you who are on that track. I had a great conversation with Steve this morning. If you guys haven't met him, he's crushing it right now with presentations. He's getting in front of tons of people. He's booked almost every single day. He's had workshops. He's got so much experience in business. He's scaled multiple companies. And the next piece for him is to be the person. So when somebody thinks, hey, I need a person in this industry with this experience, right now he's talking to some banks, he's talking to some law firms, right? If somebody's looking for somebody in that space, we want him to be the guy and to have all of the support, all the resources to be able to close those deals. And so he can just take care of those clients. I will share with you personally my vision for where I want to take this company over the next 6 months. I want to have $100 million consulting companies. I want to find 100 consultants that are having $1 million companies where, yes, they're the consultant, but they're not necessarily working in their business, they're working on their business. I want to give the infrastructure, provide the tracks for the infrastructure so you can have a marketing team or marketing AI agents. So you don't have to have a massive staff, you can be lean, but I'd like for you to be able to have your company where you're not having to work in it all the time, and you can choose the type of clients that you want to work with, and you can have the time freedom to choose the projects you want. And so that's the direction that we're going. We will always serve the person in a professional track that is trying to bring AI into their workplace, that is the internal leader. We will always serve that person because it is the person that you serve as a consultant. We will always serve that person. We will always serve the person that wants to become a consultant. We'll always serve the business owner. But there's different tracks for different people based on your goals. In my experience, I've always seen people say, I want to build $1 million company. And my first question is, well, why? Like, what does that do for you in your life? Right? And some people are optimizing for revenue, and I want to make sure that you're optimizing for freedom. Revenue is one of those things that provides you that freedom, but it's not the only piece. I don't want you to just have $1 million company that you're having to hustle and grind for and wake up with that elephant on your chest thinking, I have to go do this today. Right?
You can have $1 million company that makes $0.
Exactly what Steve says, right? So it's not about that. And so that is the direction that we are very clear that we're taking this team. And I'm excited to have people like Zach, who just showed up to the call, on board. He's going to be, like we said, he's going to be teaching on Monday. So if you have not already heard about the workshop that's coming up, that is what we're building. And so if you want to be a part of that, hop on the phone with me. We can talk about it, make sure it's a good fit. There's only going to be like 20 seats, and I think close to half of them already taken. And we just announced it on Tuesday. So I'm imagining by end of next week, it'll probably be full. So if you want to have a conversation about that, I'm excited about it. Would love to have you. It's going to be epic. And with that, I will hand it back over to Megan or Lee to take this call home.
All right, sweet. Lot of changes, a lot of updates. Why is that happening? Because we're a community-driven organization. This is what we hear from the people that want to be in our program. This is what we hear from people who are in the program and people who have gone through the certification. They're bringing that information back to us again. So this is how we evolve. We build in public and we experiment in public, and it's a great philosophy to run a business. So we appreciate you all being here. Some people jumped on the call late, so I want to welcome you to the call. And I want to talk a little bit about the challenge that's happening next Tuesday, and then what Jen alluded to also in terms of the event that's happening in March. So we've been doing challenges on a regular basis now for about a year. They have evolved over time. The challenges lately have been led by Adam Lyons, as Jen mentioned. And if you have not been to a challenge recently, even if you've been to one with Adam on it recently, I invite you to please come back to the challenge that is happening on this Tuesday. So it'll be a one-day event. It's going to be about 2 hours. Adam's on fire and his passion is just infectious. Come to this challenge on Tuesday because we're going to be talking about, I'm not sure we've landed on the exact verbiage, whether it's a workshop or a boot camp, but we're doing something really special. And this is what Jen was talking about at the beginning of March on the 6th and the 7th. So the purpose of the boot camp, and there are limited seats. So this is a first come, it's going to be capped at a small group because it's going to be a hands-on workshop boot camp. It's a $10,000 program as a standalone, but for existing people that are in the Chief AI Officer community or program, there is a special price along with financing that's available. And the purpose is to provide participants with a fully functioning AI-driven system, business system, including a website, sales funnels, lead generation tools, and follow-up automation tailored to your specific needs. The goal is to position participants as AI authorities. You'll see that word, on the screen in terms of the AI Authority Challenge. In your niche, enabling you to attract clients, automate lead generation, and scale your operations efficiently. So this boot camp, quotes or workshop, whichever we're going to call it, or intensive, it's a 2-day AI business implementation workshop. Okay, how to implement and get off the ground and launch your AI business. It's going to be results oriented. It's going to be hands-on. We want to give participants the operational uh, AI tools for lead gen and sales and authority building and everything else that goes along with that. So challenge.chiefaiofficer.com is where you want to go if you're not on the Zoom call. I think Megan has already put that in there. So challenge.chiefaiofficer.com and sign up for it. So the call on Tuesday is for free. It's going to be about 2 hours. Adam's going to do a deep dive into what the program for the boot camp event at the beginning of March is going to be all about. This is something we've heard loud and clear from our community in terms of there's a need for this, and we're responding. So check out the challenge on Tuesday. Again, even if you've been on one before, even if you've been on one with Adam before, come check it out. The guy's just, a dynamo and is passionate about what he does. He's wicked smart at business. He's wicked smart in AI, and he's a new addition on our team here. And we're thrilled to have him and the energy and passion and knowledge that he brings to the table. So, just wanted to really encourage everybody to please come to that event on Tuesday, and then make sure that you get in line for the event on the beginning of March. Jen, if people want to reach out to you and find out some more about this, what's the best mechanism to do that?
Yeah, if you guys are on the call right now, just send me a message right now and say, call me Jen, and I will text you and we'll find a time. It can be like 5-10 minutes. We'll figure out if it's a good fit or not. I'll be really straightforward with you. Because we have limited seats and I personally want to make sure the right people are in the room so we can crush it. So if you're not a good fit, I'll tell you that too. It's totally okay. So if you want to find out information about the challenge, or sorry, not the challenge, the workshop, send me a message right now. If you are watching the replay of this, you can message me inside the community. Just look up Jennifer Driscoll, or Jen Driscoll, aka Coach Jen. Type in Coach Jen, it'll find me. You can reach me on LinkedIn. You can go to the website and book a call, all those things. But for you guys in the community, just send me a message. Super easy. I check it regularly. So excited to talk.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Jen is again, her passion is as infectious as well, and we see that energy in everything that she does here. So we really appreciate her being part of our world now. So check that out. I'm going to look for the next item on my agenda here, which is wins of the week. So we're a community. We're all at different, varying stages of our journey on this AI road that we're on. And I just want to see if anybody has wins that they'd like to share, a new client you connected with, a presentation that you made, an aha moment that you had when you were trying to use AI and had a breakthrough moment. I had one of those. I'll share a little bit later. So who's got some wins they'd like to share on the call today? This is always a fun part of the call.
I can jump in.
Oh, cool. Sherry, good morning.
Hi. Good
Always great
morning.
to hear from you. And
Good morning.
you're out there crushing it. So I know you've got wins.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I've done a lot of like Zoom trainings, but I haven't done any stand up trainings until this week. So I did a 2-hour workshop, and the exciting part about it is I think it's really going to grow some legs because it's part of the ASU. They have a very large organization in the Mesa area, Tempe, Phoenix, Scottsdale. They have this huge organization where ASU works in partnership with the entrepreneur and innovation series. And so they have all of these different facilities. And I just went to another one last night in Phoenix, but I did a workshop in the Mesa location, and I had a really good showing in terms of attendance and really great interaction. It was a 2-hour workshop, and it was my first one, and I have another one scheduled for next month. And then last night, I got some great feedback. I'm going to be sending out surveys with that one. And then last night, I went to another one in Phoenix, and it's called Venture Cafe, and it's a really large networking organization, and they draw in professionals. They draw in, not just small business owners, but they also draw in enterprise level companies. And so they had an AI panel last night, and I mentioned this in a post that I was invited to be part of their panel coming up next month. So I'm pretty excited about that, and it's going to be I'm going to be taking on the segment where it's AI thought partner. So they're going to have different categories. So I'll be representing AI as a thought partner. So
Very cool. Excellent.
so it's moving along.
Two great things there. So one, leveraging the power of one into many. So by forming a relationship with an organization like ASU, you now get in front of all their constituents and all their students and faculty and incubator labs that they're running and everything else. So it's always great to always be looking for opportunities where you can leverage one relationship into multiple relationships. And Thought Partner as a tool for AI is just amazing. So that's something that's really, really good to talk to business owners about. It's a great entry point when you're having a conversation with people in larger organizations, in the C-suite, business owners, that kind of a thing. They hear AI and it's like, yeah, it can help me write my emails and things like that. But once you show them how to use AI and engage it as a thought partner in their world, all of a sudden the light bulb goes off and they're like, oh, this is cool. And they lean in and they really want to learn a lot more to go. So Sherry, you're out there crushing it. Appreciate you bringing the wins in. Appreciate everything you contribute to the community. So thanks for being here and thanks for sharing the win. Steve,
Thank
good
you.
morning, my friend.
Hello. So, what a crazy week. This tonight will be my fourth presentation that I'm giving this week. Yeah, I know. My brain is fried. And here's the worst part. I had to change them because some were like 20-minute meetings. This one networking group had 40 minutes. This one has 10 minutes. This one has an hour. So it's been kind of fun. I do have a nice repertoire of different presentations now, which is kind of cool. But what I found from it is I'm giving a full, what I call my full overview presentation on the 27th that I do just to, like a lead magnet kind of a thing. And I'm up to 43 people. It was 42 a second ago. I just looked, it's 43. So the flywheel is turning, but it's turning because I've been out here working at 12-hour days, I'll be honest. 12-hour days, beating the streets, doing my marketing. If you look at my LinkedIn, you'll see I'm doing posts 3 times, if not 5 times a week. I do blogs. I have a LinkedIn newsletter that actually has 1,100 subscribers on top of everything else that I do. I do videos. I mean, whatever I can do to get my face out there. And it's taken a few months. It's a bit of a slog, but the flywheel is starting to turn. And I was talking to Jen earlier today, and I said, I think I'm about to pop. Not in a bad way, but I think I'm going to
The
go
best way.
in the best
In the
way.
best
Yeah.
way. Yep.
Yeah, I've got like, banks I'm talking to, huge law firms, like 300-person law firms. I had a second meeting yesterday with one of them. I have another one set up with my law firm that helped me with my lawsuit when I exited my last two companies, so now maybe they'll pay me back some money, which would be nice. So, it'll be a little retribution. But the moral of the story I'm trying to tell everybody is, believe me, there's a lot of times you just feel like, man, I just can't make it. I don't know how I'm ever gonna like make this happen. And I wrote a book on it just so you tell you it's real. FOMO is real. It's called Just Get Up and Drive: Determination, Resilience, Innovation, Vigilance, and Endurance. It's about that, adapt and overcome attitude and like never give up, never quit. So I just wanted to just pass that on to everybody. That's my good news for today. There's more coming, I'm sure.
Appreciate it. You're again another great example in our community of someone who is out there doing it, bringing back the wins, sharing what he's doing and what's working and how, it's benefiting him, and he's sharing that with us, which makes it benefit us as well. So, Steve, I know you've been grinding on it. I'm thrilled to hear the positive reactions that you're getting and the traction that's happening for you. So kudos to you. And just yeah,
One
keep
last
grinding
point.
at it.
I do have some paying clients. It's not like I don't have any work, but I don't have anything, substantial.
Absolutely.
But I do have some people paying me. So they're out there. They want you. They need us.
I will say this too on Steve's behalf. Like he downplays it, but like he has clients that other people could only dream of, right? Like he's at a stage in his career in his life where he's about to pop for the big ticket items that can actually provide value for, right? But in any business, you're always working two roles. You're working for the role that you have and the role that you want to have. And right now he's doing both. As anybody who's building something new, that's expected to come with the territory, right? Because your job is to be able to replace yourself. And so right now, Steve is building his systems to be able to get those high ticket, high paying, awesome dream clients. And he is about, like he said, he's about to pop. And then he will have to find somebody else to take care of these other projects, most likely.
And make sure you build your back end support team. Like me personally,
Yeah,
I'm a tech guy for 40 years. Built, bought, and sold 7 tech companies. So I can absolutely unequivocally do all the technical stuff. It's not what I want to do at my
me
age.
too.
And I don't have to. There's plenty of people out there that you can hire and contract, make a margin on letting them do the work, or let them build direct and you bill your chief AIO services directly, which is how I do it. I have 3 different models. I have a $5,000 version, a 7,500, and a 12,500, depending on the size of the company and how much of my time they're going to take.
Mhm.
Yep. You don't have to be the one turning the wrench on the Chevy. So there
Now,
are lots and lots of resources. It goes to something that Chris Daigle is a big fan of, who, not how. So you don't have to be the one that's getting it done, but if you have the
great book.
resources that are connected and hooked up with you, and you have the confidence in them, at the end of the day, it's going to reflect back on you when stuff gets done or not gets done. Um, so you have to own that. But at the end of the day, yes, there are definitely models, and there's definitely a huge ecosystem developing. As someone who's had a digital marketing agency for 27 years, this has been a model that a lot of my peers have adopted, where we don't have in-house teams of everybody, but there are subject matter experts that are out there. There are people that are starting to provide white label services to people like us who are out there having these conversations and making the sales happen. So, Steve, kudos, appreciate it. And
Thank you. And by the way, who not how is Dr. Benjamin Hardy and Dan Sullivan, who runs a strategic coach. Two very
okay,
smart, very intelligent people.
okay, I heard it from Chris, but I'm sure he picked it up from somebody else. All
Yeah, that's
right,
that's a book. I have the book.
excellent. Silvana, you've been waiting patiently. Thank you so much. Good morning. How you doing?
Sure, I'm doing wonderful and happy Friday. Just wanted to share an exciting milestone. I'm thrilled to share that I have officially submitted my capstone project earlier this week. I did it about AI-powered podcasting, automating content creation, editing, and global reach. So it was a really amazing experience. I enjoy it, working on it, learning a lot. So I am very excited about becoming a chief AI officer.
Very cool. Congratulations. So, Did
Thank
your
you.
capstone project come out of a particular need that you had yourself or something that you were trying to serve to a client? Tell us a little bit more about that, please.
It was mainly about me. I started with this podcast a few months ago. It's called Happiness by Habit. And the only way I could make it a real thing was through the use of AI. So during the capstone project, I discussed all the tools, all the things I use to make my life easier and to make this possible, including translating, editing tools, note taking, all kinds of things.
Very
So
cool.
it was very interesting.
Very good. So you had an itch and you've built something to scratch your own itch. And now it's something that's getting shared with the community. So all the capstone projects are available for people in the community to go check out for inspiration or ideas or anything that would help you get your own capstone project off the ground. So Silvana, thank you so much for sharing that and continue the success. You're doing great.
Thank you. Lee.
Good morning, Terry. How are you?
Good morning. So as Steve says, that flywheel is moving. So just briefly, last week, had an in-person 90-minute training session with the Coastal Bend Business Innovation Center. Again, it was small business owners, career professionals. It was about 40 to 45 that were there. Had rave reviews from that. The interesting something that was just that warmed my heart was that was last week Wednesday, this Wednesday, and where I do them, it's about an hour and a half away. Community, an area, an hour and a half away in Corpus Christi. I went back down for another like separate event, and there were some attendees who had been at my training who were also at this event. And one of the guys told me he had never ever used ChatGPT. He kind of heard of it, but had never used it. He's a business owner until he went to my session. From the 7 days in between the time he got to my session and I went back for a totally other event, he had already like purchased the plus plan. He was playing around with it. It was doing some great things. He booked a one-on-one session with me because he's like, none of my friends are using this at all. Anyway, so it was just cool to see the light bulb for him go off. The second thing is, and Sherry, I'm going to be getting with you because I've been asked to do a training for realtors and mortgage professionals. So I'll be getting with you on that, on some tips and things. And I also am going to have some opportunities. Again, I'm working with Gable to kind of get ready to bring to the AI officer community. There's a company that I'm kind of doing some collaborative stuff with, but one of the things they are looking at is probably in the not too distant future, needing an AI officer, a chief AI officer in their company. I mean, they've got a decent sized company. They serve in 24 states. And again, they're not just a mom and pop thing because of my schedule. Again, I can't do it. So I'll be working with Chris to probably, again, in the course of the next few months to be able to bring that opportunity to somebody. And then the last thing is, you'll also be hearing from me probably in the next month about a date for an AI boot camp, a week-long kind of boot camp. There'll be virtual trainings that I'll be kind of putting out to the group who wants to conduct trainings. It's for the small business development centers. It's probably about 8 of them here in South Texas. They're getting together, and I had pitched the idea of, hey, I would love to do an AI boot camp. I can provide all of the trainers. Y'all don't need to do anything. Just set up the date, set up the platform, and we'll have everything done. So should be hearing about that soon. It may not be until the summer or so when it's done, but I'll be bringing that back to everybody shortly.
Awesome. And you do all of this while you have a full-time job.
While I have a full-time job that just picked up two new huge territories and serve on 5 boards and have a kid in college. Yes.
And mentors for SCORE too, don't forget.
Yes.
All I can say is if nobody has told you yet today, Terry, you rock. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for bringing the energy back to everything that we're doing here. And thank you for showing and everybody that shared with us today all the multiple paths that are out there. So there's not just one road to doing this. There's lots and lots of different, paths to take. So appreciate that all. Appreciate you sharing all. Anybody else have any wins for the week that they want to share before I dive into some news? Okay. All right. So there's three reasons for this call, our agenda, which I didn't hit at the beginning of the call, but basically what happened in our community, and Megan and Jen have gotten us all up to speed on that. And then what happened in the world of AI in general, and then Q&A. So if anybody has any questions, anything that you're working on that's challenging for you, feel free to unmute yourself. Feel free to raise your hand and just, jump in. This is, we're here to answer questions. We're here to support everybody who's going through the process. And I'm going to jump into some news items because, man, there is a lot of stuff that is happening, a lot of stuff that is going on nonstop. AI doesn't wait for anybody. And there's just, it's a fire hose. So, how do you deal with it and consume it all. So we try to be a, point source here of information. I go through and curate kind of the 40 or 50 news announcements and news releases and things that happened during the course of the week and pick out some of the nuggets, not getting into, specific announcements relating to tools and technologies and version releases and things like that, although we'll hit one of those here today. So let's look at some news that happened. And the first one I want to hit is a speech that our Vice President, JD Vance, presented. And this is important. If you go back to the call that we had last week, I covered four or five different announcements from all the large language model companies having to do with safety. So there was a flurry of safety announcements that came out that we talked about last week, and then this came up. And I think this was at the AI summit in Paris. So Vice President Vance was in Paris, and he was talking about the pro accelerative AI speech. So there's kind of two camps. There's the pro acceleration camp, which is no regulation, no guardrails, foot on the gas, full speed ahead, let's go, go, go. And then there's the other camp, whose name is eluding me right now, which is more the safety approach. Let's throttle back, let's not get out ahead of our skis too far. And JD Vance's speech at the AI summit in Paris was clearly articulating our new administration's position that we are very much pro acceleration. And this is diverging significantly from Europe's regulatory approach. Shared last week some of the updates that are happening there. So Vance's stance focuses on opportunity over safety, promoting minimal regulation to encourage AI growth and innovation. The speech coincides with the EU's implementation of stricter AI laws and a global pledge endorsed by over 60 countries, excluding the US. So there's a pact that 60 countries, including China, have signed on to regarding AI safety. But the US has, at this point in time, decided not to participate and be a signatory to that. So just Vance's background real quick. He's venture capitalist, so he came out of Silicon Valley, and he's been mentored in his political career by Peter Thiel, who's one of the original founders of PayPal. So he's steeped very deep in that Silicon Valley and venture capital world. Vance presented a four-pillar strategy having to do with global leadership in AI with reduced regulatory hurdles, opposition to excessive regulation that benefits incumbents, commitment to AI free from ideological co-option, and AI-driven productivity growth to benefit workers. So critics express concerns about job displacement due to AI, citing lack of detailed plans on safeguarding jobs. Vance's remarks on enhancing workforce skills through AI education lacked any real concrete implementation details, so it was really very kind of high level. The speech highlights the U.S.'s divergence from Europe and China, which have taken very different paths towards AI regulation and development, as I mentioned. And the new administration's agenda indicates a preference for rapid development and deployment and innovation at a potential cost to regulation and safety. So, not making any comments, good, bad, or indifferent here, but this is what the new administration's position is. Um, Regulatory actions are happening in the EU and China and the US. And then even in the US, they're happening at the federal level or not, and at the state level or not, depending on where you are. So if you're interested in this, take a look at it. The article link is in the chat, and this is just a it was Vice President Vance's first real public presence at any kind of event since the new administration has taken place. And then this is the first topic that he's talking on. So this is obviously a very important topic to the administration, and this is a important comment on safety the administration is making. Again, if you want to go back and watch last week's episode of this call, we talked about a lot of safety announcements that came out from a lot of different organizations. All the large language model frontiers basically put out guidance and commentary regarding safety. And why did they all announce a lot of things regarding safety at the same time? Because there's a lot of new models that are coming out. There is a new study. The link to the study is right here. This was led by John Hartley at Stanford University with collaborators. There were 4,000 workers that were surveyed on this. Generative AI usage in the workplace has risen to 30.1% as of December 2024. So this is a significant increase. And what the results are is that people are saying that this improves efficiency and productivity by almost a third, by almost 30%. So generative AI, this is a fresh set of data from December. So it's important to look at these kind of reports in the context of, when did this data and when was this report generated? So this is a very recent report. Though AI significantly reduces task time from 90 minutes to 30 minutes, it's still being used for less than 15 hours per week. AI is affecting job searches, with 50% of unemployed respondents using it for resumes and interview preparation. Projections indicate broader AI adoption as more advanced models emerge from companies like Anthropic and OpenAI. We'll talk about those in a second. Business leaders, policymakers, and educational institutions should prepare for AI's growing impact on work processes and necessary skill sets. So, just more real data from the marketplace, and what this means going forward in terms of AI adoption and probable disruption in the workplace as more jobs are being looked at through the lens of how can AI, do this, and do I need as many people on my team to be doing this? The next topic I want to talk about is Grok. So this was released, and version 3 of Grok is now out. And I want to talk about this for a second. Grok, I haven't played with it because I'm not on Twitter. I don't have I have a Twitter account, but I'm not on Twitter. And it's been my understanding that in order to play with Grok, you had to be on Twitter and have a Twitter account. Well, guess what? That's not the case. You can go to grok.com and you can use Grok for free, or you can sign up for Super Grok for $30 a month. And what you get with Super Grok is increased rate limits. You get their thinking version, you get their deep search version, and you get unlimited image generation. So why is this important? I'm starting to play with Grok now because I thought that, like I said, you had to have a Twitter account, but lo and behold, you don't. The free version, I don't know how long that's going to be around for, but it's definitely out there. This model, as Elon Musk says, is scary smart and capable of reasoning, and it places Grok in direct competition with established companies like OpenAI, which Musk originally helped to found. So Grok is scoring really well on AI tests and leaderboards. It's supposedly pretty good at writing. I haven't dived into it or dove into it too hard, but I did want to share with everybody that if you thought that you had to be in the Twitter sphere or the X sphere to access Grok, you don't. This was a aha moment for me this week. Steve?
I didn't raise my hand. How did that happen?
Oh,
I
I
was
don't
just,
know.
I was just digging in the Grok talk. Now I gotta go check it out. It's just one more thing for me to learn.
Yeah. So and that sets me up exactly for
Uh,
my reminder here at the end here. Um, you don't have to be a master of all these tools. Pick a tool, pick the hammer and screwdriver and saw that are going to be, your core components that you're going to use all the time. Become really proficient in those, but also keep your eyes open and know about that the landscape is changing constantly. We've got DeepSeek, so everybody's going to be releasing models, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. You don't have to master every single platform. There was a great chart that I shared on the call last week from Ethan Mollick at Wharton School of Business, and he created a chart of which AI is good for which purpose. So ultimately, I wish we didn't have all these models. I wish that each model didn't have, well, do you want, the strawberry flavor or the peppermint cone flavor of the model? I wish that there was just one AI where I could put in what I need and there would be like a switchboard operator in the back end who would just, one moment I'll connect your call and it would hook me up to, where I need to go and bring to bear the tools that I need. Operator from OpenAI is heading in that direction, and we'll talk in the next topic about what else OpenAI is doing to try to consolidate this. So yes, too many tools, too many flavors of each tool. Which one do I use? When do I use it? We're going to get some answers on that in the next topic right here, which is an announcement. I touched on this last week, but Sam Altman is basically put out a roadmap where he's basically saying we're going to consolidate this. We've got, too many different models. There's too many different things that you can use. And we're going to consolidate this all. So the next coming version is Chat GPT 4.5, which is our last non-chain of thought model. And then so 4.5 is coming soon. People are thinking this week, next week-ish. And then 5 is going to be shortly, right behind that. So OpenAI is listening to their audience, and their audience is saying, too many models, too many flavors. Can we simplify this, please, a little bit? And OpenAI is responding to that. So again, things are happening to reduce some of this confusion in the marketplace and make things a little bit easier for everybody to use and understand. Um, I threw the wrong link in there, so I'm going to throw this one in here. This is Sam Altman's post on X regarding the OpenAI roadmap, and I'm going to go back to the link that I did put in, which is OpenAI publishes best practices to prompt its reasoning models. So, as I just mentioned, OpenAI has announced this is the last chain of thought model. Everything's going into a reasoning model context. So if you want to learn about what reasoning models are, how reasoning models differ from GPT models, how to choose which model to possibly use, this is not a particularly techie document. All right. So this would be a good way to ramp yourself up on, really, what are reasoning models? How do I use them? Where do I use them? When do I use them? OpenAI has put this out, so that would be some helpful guidance for us. I did want to acknowledge we're just at the top of the hour. On the other side, we're going to go maybe another 15, 20 minutes. I want to respect everybody's time. If you need to leave, I understand that. I appreciate you being here with us today. Um, Catch the rest of the call on the recording because I'm going to go, like I said, another 15, 20 minutes. I want to wish you a great weekend. Thank you for being here. Be sure to catch up with us on the call series that starts again on Monday. And for those of you that are staying, I'm going to keep on going. So thank you all for being here. If you got to go, totally understand. Have yourself a great weekend. All right. My last news item, and this is interesting. This has to do with the world of art. Okay, so there was a art show that is being put on by Christie's, which is one of the big auction houses. So artists are demanding the cancellation of Christie's AI art auction, claiming AI models used to create these works unlawfully exploit human artists' copyrighted content without permission. Now, if you recall, a couple weeks ago, we did talk about the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office has come out with copyright guidance saying that AI works can be copyrighted as long as it has a substantial human component. Substantial is a very soft and gushy word. So there's going to be, court tests, obviously, of, how do we define what substantial means? But basically, on this news article, thousands of artists signed a letter urging Christie's to cancel the auction, alleging mass theft of human artists' works. The auction, labeled as the first major AI-focused art sale by a leading auctioneer, features pieces priced between $10,000 and $250,000. So Christie is, at the high end of the art world. Artists claim AI models used for generating these artworks have been trained on copyrighted materials without the necessary licensing or permissions. Key signatories of the letter include artists currently suing AI companies over unauthorized use of their works. The controversy highlights a broader legal battle involving AI and the unauthorized use of copyrighted data for model training. Ed Newton Rex, a campaigner for the Creative Professionals' Rights, noted that several auction pieces used models trained on artists' work, though not all. Christie insists that most AI models in the auction were trained on the participating artists' own data. So just like you can teach Claude to write in your style, you can teach the image generating platforms to design in your style by providing it with, background and examples and things like that. Artist Matt Dryhurst, whose work is in the auction, defends the ethical use of AI in emphasizing artistic exploration. Another artist disputes claims of using unauthorized training data and highlights the use of legally sourced data sets like those from NASA. So this article reflects the rising tension between AI technology and traditional creative rights, underscoring complex debates over digital creativity and legal frameworks will continue. So just a continuing saga here of we're in a new world. It's a new frontier, and here's a perfect case where you have artists who are using AI who want to sell their works through a traditional auction house environment like Christie's, and you have a whole slew of their fellow artists who are raising their hands and saying, "Foul, not fair." So we'll see where this goes. It's going to be a continuing interesting journey for sure. All right. Anybody have any questions, concerns, comments on anything that I covered in the news? Like I said, there were probably another 50 items that I could have talked about, but I just wanted to bring, kind of some of the high level things. Vice President Vance's comments in Paris were important, particularly following on to the conversation we had last week about all the safety announcements that were being released. So, anybody have any comments, questions, ideas, aha moments, anything like that? Nope. Okay. So, I'm going to spend just a few minutes going over the calls that happened this week. Again, this call is open for public consumption on the internet, on streaming platforms. During the week, we do have a series of calls that are available just for our AI Insider community. These calls are all recorded so that if you don't have time to make the call, you can catch up with it in the recording. And then I'm just going to highlight what each of the calls were. So if you did miss one of the calls and there's a subject matter that is of interest to you that I'm mentioning, and you would go, I need to go catch that call. So on Monday, we had the call was led by our community manager, Megan, and this is our real world AI tools and their use cases call. And what Megan did, I looked, this was a pretty interactive call. A lot of people were exchanging ideas, and that's the model. All of our calls are typically really interactive. These are not just, professor talking head type education calls. These are interactive calls. People are sharing their knowledge, their experiences, as we had on the call earlier with all the wonderful wins that are happening. So all of our calls are interactive in that same model. All of our calls are live. They're not recorded. So when you join the call, you get to participate. Megan on the call talked about the community and provided kind of an overview of some of the things that are happening in the community. People shared strategies for overcoming challenges and kind of building out an effective AI roadmap. People stress the importance of aligning AI tools with business objectives rather than chasing every emerging tool. And that goes right back to Steve's comment and what I shared about, yeah, there's a lot of tools that are coming out all the time, and you can spend all day long just, being up to speed and learning about tools. Not a good use of your time. Um, Tools that were mentioned on the call include ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Gamma, Lumen 5, and Grammarly. Most of those tools are in my toolkit, except for Lumen 5. Haven't heard of that one before. And on the call, the advice was for new members, start with small projects and effectively demonstrate value to your client that you want to get in there. So go for the small wins, go for the low hanging fruit, show some value, and that's a great way to start the relationship and get in with the client. On the Tuesday call, this was led by our Chief Operating Officer and Chief Product Officer, Segovia Smith. This is prompting essentials, expert tips and tricks. And then on this week's call, Segovia spent time talking about configuring and optimizing local AI models. So local AI models, that's basically something that's running on your laptop or on your desktop computer. You're not on the internet, browsing out to OpenAI or Grok or any of those things. So local models provide significant advantages in terms of privacy and offline usability, making them ideal for processing sensitive data and maintaining productivity when you don't have internet access. So Segovia talked about guidance on how to download and configure local AI models, such as the open source model Llama. OpenAI, I'm sorry, offline access allows for secure data processing, especially beneficial in remote or disconnected environments. Tools highlighted include Llama, which is a command line tool for AI model. I'm sorry, OLLAMA, OLLAMA, which is a command line tool for AI model management. Jan AI, that's Jan AI, which is a GUI for those less familiar with command line operations, and LM Studio, which is another GUI or graphic user interface option with some similar features to Jan AI. Key parameters and decision making for which model to choose would be the parameter size. So that's, how big is the model? Context length in terms of, what kind of content are you going to be putting into it and getting out of it, and how much knowledge base and context are you going to be providing it? So the models all do have context length windows, as do all of the language models that are available online. OpenAI, Grok, they all have context limits. And then also the hardware requirements and update frequency that is required for that. So Segovia talked about starting small with smaller models, and then ratcheting up as your needs can increase there. And participants were encouraged to experiment with local AI tools, and also talked about Arc browser, which is on my screen right now, which is sort of an AI-powered browser. I also want to share with everybody our wonderful Prompt Vault application. So if you are new and you don't have a Prompt Vault account yet, please go get yourself a Prompt Vault account. It is free, and it's an app that we built to scratch our own itch, as Segovia would say. But it's a great tool for managing your prompts, no longer having to keep them on sticky notes all across your desk. So that was the call on Tuesday. On Wednesday, as Megan mentioned earlier in the call and Jen mentioned, so this was our excuse me, AI Consulting Business Blueprint call with Wayne, who's one of our fellows. Wayne continued in the series of call he's been having on the story brand process, mastering storytelling techniques for effective marketing. So the key takeaway is, again, Wayne focused using the StoryBrand framework and AI tools like ChatGPT to center marketing strategies around customer needs, ultimately enhancing businesses' online presence and effectiveness. So you can go and take a look at that. Um, Wayne also talked about this importance of having a strong online presence. That's where people are going to go to check you out. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day who didn't have a website, and I said, "Dude, if they're going to find you on LinkedIn, and then they're going to want to go look at your website, and if you don't have a website, the next step they're taking is they're gone. They're on to finding somebody else. So it's just a critical component. It doesn't have to be massive. It doesn't have to be verbose. Uh, Done is the enemy of perfection, or perfection is the enemy of done. Sorry, I got that backwards. Perfection is the enemy of done. So build a site, get it online. You can always update it. You can always modify it. But get something out there. It can be one page, just talks about you, what you do, who you serve, how you serve them. And then you can always go back and expand it more beyond there. But don't wrestle with this. Don't make it, a huge elephant that you have to eat. There are tools that are out there. Wayne talked about some of those tools on the call. So if you want to go back and take a look at that, I think it would be of value if you're wrestling with this particular topic right now. Our last call was on last night, which was led by Chris Lannon, one of our fellows. As Megan mentioned, our call schedule sequence is going to, and topics are going to be shifting a little bit. So do visit the community and the event calendar to see what calls are coming up. But Chris went through on this call and talked about AI tools for creating digital influencers, which are really interesting. And I missed the call. I was on another one, but I'm definitely going to go back and take a look at that. But he talked about AI tools like Flux, OpenArt, and Kling, which revolutionize content creation by enabling realistic digital influencers for marketing. So, yep, digital influencers, they are out there. They have been out there for a while since AI really kind of hit. We're coming into the space where, uh, is that a real person or is that an influencer? And that's what Chris covered on his call. Interestingly, I read an article this week about how Gen Z, there's actually a movement now called the non-influencer movement, where I guess influencers or people who want to persuade people are saying, no, don't buy the expensive beauty cream that this influencer is promoting. this one's just as good. So there's a whole non-influencer backlash that's happening. So we'll see how that plays out in the marketplace. But that's what I've got for everybody on the call. Thank you so much for staying with me. If anybody has any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them or address any concerns that you've got going on right now. Again, our call sequences and topics are changing up a little bit. So do pay attention to the calendar and the calendar of events that is in Circle. That would be the best place to see what's going on. Not major changes, but just, some things are shifting as we're fine tuning again, feedback that we get from everybody in our wonderful community about how we can serve you better and what content is most important to you. So if there are no other questions or comments, I want to thank everybody for staying to the end of the call. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we look forward to seeing you on our calls, which will be starting on Monday with our tool call. So have a great weekend, everybody.
Thank you, Lee.
Bye bye.